The full-fledged demon Sesshomaru and the half-demon Inuyasha are among the biggest brother rivalries in anime. Sesshomaru hates his half-human brother Inuyasha and has a bloodthirsty desire to acquire the Tsuga, a sword that can kill 100 demons. His egoism and power-hungry nature, however, prevented him from inheriting the sword. As a result, through his encounters with Rin and Kagura, Sesshomaru goes on a journey of self-discovery, learning about compassion and selflessness. Inuyasha Hime. Prince's half-demon, his prejudice softens to the point that he has two half-human daughters. Sesshomaru initially detests both humans and half-demons. Sesshomaru despises Inuyasha, his half-brother, because he does not believe that the blood of his father flows through the veins of Inuyasha. With his half-breed pedigree, he constantly taunts and insults Inuyasha. His hate grew when Inuyasha became Tsuga's master. Sesshomaru is unable to take the sword out when they visit the tomb of their father, meaning he is not destined to inherit it. The Tsuga pulses and turns into a large fang, claiming Inuyasha as its owner, when Inuyasha swears to defend Kagura from Sesshomaru. Inuyasha concludes that because his father's tomb had been in his eye, their father must have wanted to give him the sword. The Tsuga is a protective sword. It was created, according to Myoga, to protect the mother of Inuyasha, Izayoi, a mere mortal. The feelings of Inuyasha for Kagura enabled him to wield the Tsuga. Sesshomaru, on the other hand, lacks empathy for humans and is unworthy. Although he does not own the Tsuga, Sesshomaru keeps trying to obtain it. By joining forces with Naraku and even creating a new sword called the Tokujin to match the Tsuga's power, he attempts to steal the Tsuga. He fails to accomplish his goal though. Eventually, Sesshomaru begins to question why his father did not give him the sword. In episode 35, Sesshomaru meets Rin, the true owner of the great sword. Sesshomaru retreats to the forest after losing a battle against Inuyasha. Seeing Sesshomaru badly wounded, Rin, an orphan girl, decides to give him food and water. Sesshomaru refuses to eat, staying cold and distant from her until he asks about the bruises on her face, which she takes as a sign of her interest. One day, Rin is mauled to death by wolf demons, and his Tsuga is used by Sesshomaru to revive Rin. Sesshomaru may appear to be repaying a debt to Rin, but she sees it as an act of kindness and decides to follow him on his journey. Rin's allegiance to Sesshomaru is demonstrated in episode 162, Forever with Lord Sesshomaru, when she is kidnapped by a demon named Onkakuki and saved by a monk named Ungai. Ungai is planning to take her back to his village, but she insists that Sesshomaru stay with her. Ungai finds it surprising to see a human girl not afraid of a demon. Throughout her life, humans treated Rin poorly, but Sesshomaru treated her well, like the figure of an older brother to her. He always comes to her rescue whenever Rin is in danger, and such devotion has shaped him into being more caring towards humans. When he comes to save Kagura, one of the reincarnations of Naraku, his caring nature is also demonstrated. Sesshomaru plans to save Kagura with Tsuga in episode 169, Kagura's Wind. Although he is unable to save her, his very act of trying to rescue her is sufficient to show that, whether demon or human, he values life. He had been selfish before and did not care for others. His willingness to save the lives of Rin and Kagura indicates that Sesshomaru is changing his perspective on others, which also leads to his increasing Inuyasha tolerance. Sesshomaru may stay away from Inuyasha, but there are instances in which Sesshomaru is prepared to assist Inuyasha in his battle against Naraku. The Tsuga, for instance, sees Sesshomaru as a worthy master after the death of Kagura and calls on Todesai to teach Sesshomaru the Mito Zanjutsuha. Later, Sesshomaru challenges Inuyasha to see if he is worthy of wielding the Mito Zanjutsuha. Sesshomaru finally matured by teaching the Mito Zanjutsuha to Inuyasha, marking the end of his obsession with the legacy of their father. In episode 184, Magatsuhi's evil will, this sign of maturity, leads Sesshomaru to produce his sword, the Bakuseiga, from his body. Todesai explains that the Bakuseiga was always within Sesshomaru, but it would only reveal itself once Sesshomaru became a great demon without the support of the legacy of his father. Sesshomaru decides to let Rin reside in Kida's village after defeating Naraku so that she can adapt to human life. Sesshomaru has half-demon twin daughters, Setsuna and Towa, Inuyasha Hime, Princess half-demon. Their mother's name has yet to be revealed, but many fans suspect that Rin is their mother. In episode 3 of Yasha Hime, The Dream Butterfly, one hint supporting this theory is where Sesshomaru takes his twin daughters away from Kida's village, where Rin resided at the time. Although Sesshomaru is constantly mentioned as the father of Setsuna and Towa, the twins do not recognize him as one, since when they were children, he was not around them, similar to the parents of Maroha. Although Sesshomaru is indifferent to his children, Sesshomaru still shows concern about Rin, who is imprisoned in the sacred tree in Yashahima's episode 4, The Gateway to the Past. Although in the new spin-off series there have only been glimpses of Sesshomaru so far, viewers can safely assume that as the story progresses, he will have a greater role later on. His presence, for now, is evidence of how dramatically his views on humans have changed.